He goes, what are you thinking about, Scanlon? I said, I'm thinking you like pizza, right? And he goes, yeah, of course. There was a last slice of pizza you had. Because he knew he was dying, obviously. He knew he only had a short time left. I was asking him, do you remember the last slice of pizza you had? And he's thinking about it. Now he could finally remember the last time he had pizza. And he just said, that's a trip. I didn't sit there at the time thinking, this is my last slice of pizza. You know? But for everything that you do, there's going to be a last. You know, and you're right, we do take it for granted. We assume that it's always going to be there. Now, I could waste your time, I could waste my own time and say, therefore, have gratitude. But I mean, gratitude is it's like laughter. You have to have a reason for it. I guess you could fake laughter, but it always seems a little weird. You know, you could fake love, I suppose, but it's the real. You can't force yourself to really feel love, and it's the same way. You can't force yourself to be grateful or to not take things for granted. You can't force yourself to have gratitude. It's just something that you do or you don't. If you knew that your friend who you're talking to, your best friend, you were never going to talk to them again after today, would the conversation that you're having right now become special and precious? Because if so, then that means that the conversation is itself special and precious. And so if we can kind of mold our mind to see it that way, then that means you can see it as special and precious while you're having the conversation. Every moment you spend with a loved one, because every minute that you live is a minute that's in the past. And there's only one thing that's real in your life. The past, it's a memory. The future is just a hope. And I hope I'm going to do this, or I hope I'm going to do that. That has left us with just that middle part, which is right now, the moment. And so what's the most important thing in your life? Whatever you're doing right now. Good luck, though, man. That's hard. So there's two interesting things that kind of stand out. So exactly what you said, I'll say something about that. But also think about that, the person curses you out and how you respond to them. So you curse them back out. They curse you back out. You punch them in the face. They're mad. And you get pulled apart. That's when the guy drives away and he gets in that car accident. He dies. And you think man, what if I had de-escalated instead of escalating? What if I tried to calm the situation down? Would he be alive today? And it's not that it's your fault. Again, there's what's your fault, there's what's your responsibility, which are very different things. And then there are things like that, whose responsibility is it for me? I'm sorry, whose responsibility is it that he's angry and cussing people out? That's his own responsibility. That's him. It's not you. Now, could you have done something? Yeah, I suppose so. But you weren't responsible for it. But good luck. Because a lot of people are going to feel responsible for it, even if it wasn't their fault, or even if it wasn't their responsibility. But then there's also the thing that you said, that's how people will remember you. And that's hard, man. You guys will get a sense from me that I tell a lot of jokes, obviously. And years ago, there was a joke I told a class. And I mean, the joke's funny, but it's not drop dead hilarious. I'll ask you guys the joke, and then I'll tell the story. What is better than winning a gold medal at the Special Olympics? Ice cream. Yeah. Some of you are going to sit there and go, you can't make fun of them. It's not making fun of them. If you understand that joke, by the way, you understand something really important about human nature. It's not making fun of anybody. It's pointing something out, because all humor, it's only funny if it's true. I mean, if I had said, what's better than winning a Special Olympics? And I went on about how this guy who does the Special Olympics does quantum mechanics. That wouldn't be funny, because it has nothing to do with reality. It's funny because it's true. And then you sit there and go, are you making fun of them? No, wouldn't it be awesome? If getting ice cream was the best thing that could possibly happen to you? Because how attainable is ice cream? It's everywhere. So I told that joke, I had to be 10 years ago, a long time. And still, over summer, I'm over at Walmart down the street here. and I'm looking at something in the aisle, and I hear ice cream, ice cream. And I look down, I'm looking at this guy, and he's an older guy. Guy's like in his late 20s. He goes, "What's up, Scanlon?" He was my student like 10 years ago. That's what he remembers. I get up here all the time. Life is suffering. Find something that makes the suffering worthwhile. That's the freedom of life. You don't know what you don't know. I'd say all kinds of stuff to you throughout the year. And what does this guy remember? Ice cream. Ice cream. Like, so much more than that. You never can tell what you'll be remembered for. And so that's why when you say, like, you just make sure that what people remember you by, and that's also very hard. I've heard, I know this is going to be so hard for everyone in here to possibly believe, but I've heard I have a reputation for being an asshole. I know, it's unbelievable. It's hard. Do I mean to come off as an asshole? Yes. No, actually, no, I don't. This is me not even trying. But obviously I must. If I guess it's one or two people say it, okay, well then that's just, but I don't mean to. And if I came off like that to you, and one of you guys said to me, "Scout, you're being an asshole right now," you know what I would say to you? How? I don't know. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Well, the way you're talking right now, your tone, or I'd say, huh. And I'd probably reconsider what I was doing. Because I'm not trying to be an asshole. If you're trying to be, that's a different thing. But it's worth keeping in mind. Is that how you want to be? Because, there are two things, right? First impressions and last impressions. First, how people first interact with you, and then how people will remember you the last time they interact with you. And in your life, man, everybody you meet, there's going to be a last time that you interact with them. If any of you guys have like a boyfriend, girlfriend, there's going to be a last time that you kiss them. There's going to be a last one. Whether it's because you guys break up, or whether it's because one of you dies, or moves away, or something. There's a last for everything. What you think about, I don't know, I love buffalo wings. My favorite thing to eat is buffalo wings. There's going to be a time I'm going to sit there and I'm going to eat my last buffalo wing, and I probably won't even know it. Not to get super dark or anything, but I was telling you guys that we had a teacher here, Esperon. He died during summer. Esperon had been here, I think, 2 years longer than I was a teacher. He was here when I got here. You get used to it, man. We would get here at the same time. I'd park and I'd see him get out of his car. He'd see me get out of my car. He was a friend. I like the guy. So cool. Nobody has a bad thing to say about Esperon. The guy was like a whatever he was, a 51-year-old, 10-year-old. He used to come to, I think I mentioned to you already, he would come to school dressed as a Jedi. I don't just mean like on Halloween. The guy really liked Star Wars. The guy would dress as a Ghostbuster. He dressed as a Jedi. He dressed as a character from Lord of the Rings just because he enjoyed it. Not every day, but the guy was like a little kid. Nobody can say bad about the guy. And I was talking to him a lot, like when before he died, he was in the hospital for a while. So I was visiting him and talking with him, and that was one of the things that came up. He asked me, he had to take some medicine, and he asks me, he goes, "What are you thinking about, Scanlon?" I said, "I'm thinking you like pizza, right?" And he goes, "Yeah, of course." And he's like, "You're not going to try to smuggle me a pizza, are you?" I go, "No, but there was a last slice of pizza that you had." Because he knew he was dying, obviously. He knew he only had a short time left. Imagine that you're laying in the bed knowing that you're going to die within a couple of weeks. They told him, "Nothing we can do for you," so they're going to move him out. And I was asking him, "Do you remember the last slice of pizza you had?" And he's thinking about it. Now he could finally remember the last time he had pizza. And he just said, "That's a trip. I didn't sit there at the time thinking, this is my last slice of pizza." But for everything that you do, there's going to be a last. And you're right, we do take it for granted. We assume that it's always going to be there. Now, I could waste your time, I could waste my own time and say, therefore, have gratitude. But gratitude is it's like laughter. You have to have a reason for it. I guess you could fake laughter, but it always seems a little weird. You could fake love, I suppose, but it's the real. You can't force yourself to really feel love, and it's the same way. You can't force yourself to be grateful or to not take things for granted. You can't force yourself to have gratitude. It's just something that you do or you don't. And I wish we could force ourselves for that. But if you knew, you might not be able to see it. And what is the it to which he's referring? I don't know. I'll leave it to you to fill in that blank. What is it? If you knew you might not be able to have pizza again tomorrow, would this slice of pizza you're eating right now become special and precious? If you knew that your friend who you're talking to, your best friend, you were never going to talk to them again after today, would the conversation that you're having right now become special and precious? Because if so, then that means that the conversation is itself special and precious. And so if we can kind of like mold our mind to see it that way, then that means you can see it as special and precious while you're having the conversation. Every moment you spend with a loved one, because every minute that you live is a minute that's in the past. And there's only one thing that's real in your life. The past, it's a memory. And it's probably a fake memory. It was probably clouded with our judgments and prejudices. And then the future is just a hope. And I hope I'm going to do this, or I hope I'm going to do that. And that's if you get there. I told you I'm thinking of those 7 students who I can think of off the top of my head who never got there. They never got past 21. Some of them never even left high school. Literally, they died while they were still here. And then that has left us with just that middle part, which is right now, the moment. And so what's the most important thing in your life? Whatever you're doing right now. You're not doing it because it's important. I know some of you are sitting there going like, crap, sitting here listening to this is the most important thing in my life. At this moment it is. Because there is no past. The past is a memory. The future is a hope. It's only right now. And then, as I just told you that moment I was talking about is now in the past. And then the moment I was talking about just now, when I started talking about that moment that was in the past, is now in the past. So life is this perpetual process of catching up to what's important. And so what you're doing right now is important, not because, not because it's important, but it's important because it's all that's real. And whatever you're choosing to do right now, you're choosing to do. You might think you're not. Like, you're sitting there going like, I'm choosing to be here right now? Yeah. What if you never showed up today? Do I form a search party to go look for you? Does the school do that? No. So you choose to be here. So because you choose to be here, then I guess it's a matter of making the most out of it because you're saying it's important to be here in some way. Now, I'm only here because my parents forced me to. Fine. So you're choosing to be here, which is more important to you than pissing off your parents. No problem. There's no problem with that, but just make the most of it then. Whatever it is. Yeah. Because everything is going to be there's going to be a last for everything, including the last time I talked to you, which I know for many of you cannot come soon enough. I know, right? Bring us home. Give us something heavy at the end. What, don't leave you? I wish my dad would listen to that, huh? I know it's wrong, but every time he comes back, the milk expires and he has to go back and get some more. That's why I haven't seen him in questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms, critiques. All right. Happy Tuesday.